My name is Maria Alejandra Escalante. I went to the Yucatan program last year from 2012-2013, and I am Colombian, which means that Spanish is my first language. And I went to Yucatan not to study Spanish, but to study Mayan, because I was interested in the culture of Yucatan, but precisely in how indigenous people nowadays live and how they use their language as a tool of existence. And when I got to Yucatan, I had lots of assumptions and lots of stereotypes that came from my background as Colombian, as Latin American. But actually understanding that Yucatan was a bit different and that the people that I was going to live with were very different from me and from what I've seen before took me some time. And that to me was the immersion program, to take time to forget a little bit of who I was in order to be able to let new things come into me. So as I acquired the language and began studying continually in Mérida, there came a time when I went to a pueblo to speak in Mayan most of the time, and then I realized that the people that I was living with were so different from me that language was not the only barrier to understand them, but also it was more about concepts and more about ways of living and more about choices in life. And that, again, realizing that it went beyond language, it went beyond Spanish or Mayan, that actually created a huge impact in my life. And it took me time to digest, it took me time to accept the way it was. But I think the experience, even though it was hard, even though it was challenging, gave me a new sense of life and a new sense of the world. And it has been an experience that has been with me since a year ago. So even though it was hard, I would say for being a Latin American, it was more worthwhile to go to Yucatan than perhaps any other place that I could have gone. So, Malok Kim Tulakal Mako.